Flying into the Metaverse through books and culture is honored to interview today Sonya Haskins.
I'm Sonya Haskins.
Hi Sonya, it's a pleasure have you here. You are a respected voice in the XR industry and head of programming at AWE. You was the first sighted player in the VR League and the first female player to advance to regionals in North America. You have founded VR Community Builders, a community-driven group focused on outreach. But who is Sonya Haskins really? Tell us about yourself and how you got here.
I'm Sonya Haskins, head of programming at AWE, the Augmented World Expo, which is where we are now behind the scenes. It's a little bit loud here, I apologize. But basically how I got here is in 2017, my oldest son was being deployed to Afghanistan. He had joined the Army and was a paratrooper with the 82nd Airborne. He wanted me to go try something called virtual reality with him, which I had never heard of, and I didn't really like tech, so it didn't sound like the most fun thing in the world to me. But I went with him to a Best Buy and literally put the headset on, and it changed my life. I thought, wow, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. So, you know, it's still this day, it gives me chills. It makes me emotional to talk about because it's like, wow, it really does change lives, though, right? So I bought the headset, took it home, started playing. It helped in a lot of ways. Physically, I had been in a wheelchair the year before, had a lot of health problems, had blood clots, and so I couldn't stand for long periods. And so I started playing games seated because that's what I did. I had to be seated a lot. I couldn't stand for long periods. And I qualified for the first Oculus VR League. It was Oculus sponsored. And it was run by Oculus ESL and Intel. It was a VR league with Echo Arena, which is a VR esport game that is basically like playing soccer in zero gravity in a virtual arena. And so I felt like I was in space playing this game, and it was great. And my team qualified to go to Oculus Connect 4. So I went there, and a funny story when I got ready to go was, well, initially when I started playing, they all thought I was a little boy because people didn't expect females, especially grown females, to be playing VR games. But then when I actually got to Oculus Connect, when I was headed there, they also didn't expect people to be seated. And so I was playing very well in the chair, and I still am a very good player at that game. And so people were really shocked by that and just surprised by the whole experience of seeing an older, middle-aged, overweight female playing these games in a chair. And so, just one second. And so it was a great experience, and I started kind of making a few recommendations and just giving some insights to whoever would listen, because I wanted to see the industry thrive and grow. And so I would tell them, you know, it's great to have opportunities for everybody. Like, we need to make sure we don't put the experiences in a box with pre-expectations. And, you know, we don't decide who gets to do it. We just put the experiences and the apps and the hardware out there and make it possible for anyone to use it, because that's the way it should be. It should be accessible to everyone. And so anybody who wants to have the experience of immersive reality should be able to do that. So I did that. It was great, and started helping a lot with VR communities. It was fantastic. I still do that a lot. And then I took this position in February of this year, which is 2022, and I really just love it. I get to help with everybody in the industry, trying to make sure we have great speakers for the event, and just putting good sessions out there. So it was all fantastic.
You have written 8 books. Can you introduce us briefly your 8 publications?
That's basically my experience of how I got into VR. Before that, I was a stay-at-home mom. I took care of my kids. I homeschooled for over 20 years, and basically I was mostly a mother and homemaker. During that time, I did professionally keep up my professional skills as a writer. I'm a journalist by trade, and so I wrote 8 books, and I continue to write articles for magazines and stuff, so I've done quite a bit of that.
Do you think it's still important to write books and publish them. What is the role of the books in 2022?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's just like any creative endeavor, although I do think that there are ways things are changing. I personally like holding physical books. I love holding and touching. I'm a very physical person, and I like action and touching things, and so it's, you know, everybody's different, but for me, I prefer a physical book versus reading a book electronically. But I also do think it's cool, the ideas for different people, because everyone's different, of like going into immersive environments and experiencing a book, which some companies are doing. Like Conception XR is doing book experiences for young kids where they actually can use AR with the books and learn through that as they do it. And so for children, the interactive nature, anytime you're using more senses, you're learning things more thoroughly or better or faster, or your attention is higher.
Do you have other publication planned? Can you make some prediction for the future? What do you think about the metaverse?
I think, let me just say, I think immersive worlds are fantastic. I think we need to make sure that we keep them open for everyone. Oh, and for anyone wondering why I have this by my head, it's because I'm literally managing a main stage right now. So I apologize if I look insane. But for the future of what we're doing here, basically, I think that it's going to be fantastic. So many great things coming down the pipeline, and it's really what we're going to make it. I focus a lot on the accessibility and diversity aspect of it, making sure it's accessible to everyone, because it is coming. So we need to make sure that it's something that's fair, equitable, accessible, and just safe. We have privacy, safety concerns. We need to make sure we keep those in our forethoughts as well.
Tell me about your plan for the future. I want to know all the secret you haven't told anyone yet.
Oh, let's see. I do have a secret plan, and I'll go ahead and tell you this because I don't know when this is going to be published, but it'll be not secret soon enough. Let's see. I'm going to continue doing this work, which I love, but I also just bought another house. I had bought a piece of property with a very old house, and some of you have heard this and seen pictures because I have shared that, but I knocked it down and with an excavator because it was very, very old and needed to be knocked down. And then I also have been rebuilding the place I live in, which is a mobile home, and it didn't have any floors when I moved in, so I built floors, I painted walls, and knock down some walls. That's what I do, and I just got another one, and I'm doing that. I'm hoping to rent it out to like single moms or somebody who just needs a step up in life for very, very cheap rent.
I meet Sonya for the first time at AWE Europe in Lisbon in the October 2022. And this interview was done while Sonya was working behind the scenes of the AWE stage. It's a very interesting interview. Thank you, Sonya, for being here with me today. And
so that's just my plan. I am happy to be here and part of this community, and I think it's fantastic. So thanks for having me on the interview, and I hope you guys have a fantastic coming year.
Thank you very much, Sonya.
Thank you for asking me to do that. Oh, I'm giving you the wrong thing.
Thank you, Sonya. My name is CECILIA LASCIALFARI, co-founder of area6.com, creative strategist, technologist, international journalist, researcher in the field of AEI, community manager, organizer of AWE Night Florence event, and also creator of Flying into the Metaverse through books and culture. Bye bye! See you soon at the next interview. Bye!